I literally needed to prove a dude wrong. I was in the middle in my day job. I was in the middle of a big conference. I was on the stage and there were 1,000 people in the room. And one of the dudes on the panel, we were talking about the rise of social media and how it will impact people in the United States of America. And we were talking about that. And someone asked if I had a TikTok. And I said, only to watch, not to talk. And jokingly, this dude said, well, that's okay because you're too ugly, old, fat, and stupid to be on social media. Now, yes,
Welcome to the TikTok influencers you really should know about, the podcast dedicated to showcasing the remarkable individuals on TikTok who are making a genuine impact beyond just their good looks and celebrity status. From advocates for social justice to comedians who brighten our days, this podcast celebrates the diverse talents that make TikTok a vibrant community. Tune in to discover the influencers you may not have heard of yet, but you definitely should know about. Welcome back to the TikTok influencers you really should know about. Hello, everyone. I'm Christine Blosdale. I am your business success and media coach. I help entrepreneurs of all stripes create media content. That means podcasts, books, videos, YouTubes, whatever. And TikTok, of course, is my favorite. I want to say addiction, but in a good way. And this is how I get to meet all these amazing creators. And today is no exception. I have a fabulous creator that I want to introduce you to, and so that you can get some tips. Because just like me, I'm a newbie to this TikTok thing, creating content and videos. And I've got some questions for this lady because it's a whole new ball game when you're in TikTok land, as we know. My guest today is Nicole Lamoureux. Her claim to fame is that she started her TikTok account to prove a dude wrong, which we're going to get into. She is a content creator like no other. She helps people get better views. It gives them tips on what to do, what not to do, most importantly. And she is going to be here to talk about her story and her journey. Welcome, Nicole. Welcome to the show.
oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here with you.
I feel like a little fangirl because I've been following you for a while and I just I love the tips that you have. And I love your presentation because you know what? You're you. You know what? It's not about being all glammed up with filters and lighting and all this stuff. It's just you come to people real raw and real. And I want to know how did you get started on TikTok? Were you on TikTok and then you said, I think I can do this, or did you need to prove a dude wrong?
I literally needed to prove a dude wrong. I was in the middle in my day job. I was in the middle of a big conference. I was on the stage and there were 1,000 people in the room. And one of the dudes on the panel, we were talking about the rise of social media and how it will impact people in the United States of America. And we were talking about that. And someone asked if I had a TikTok. And I said, only to watch, not to talk. And jokingly, this dude said, well, that's okay because you're too ugly, old, fat, and stupid to be on social media. Now, yes, if that gives you a hint as to what the culture in our country was at that moment. Well, and so I said, well, we're going to check back in 90 days and I'm going to prove you wrong. And I sat down at that night. I drove home and when I get frustrated, my neck gets red, not anything else. And I guess my husband said my neck was like purple. And I just sat down and I thought there's got to be other women at this point in time between the ages of 45 and 55 that had to feel that same way. I sat down so frustrated and I just said, hi, I need to get 600 more people on this account by next Tuesday on my 51st birthday to prove a dude wrong. And here's how I'm going to do it.
I love
And
it.
now I say that I'm an accidental content creator with a merch line that says prove a dude wrong, and tons of people who trust me to help them grow in their brand, their content, and in their mindset.
I love that story. That's a great
Okay.
origin story. And so many women would be behind you go, girl, I'll follow you. I like you just because of that. Right.
Yes,
That is
absolutely.
brilliant. And again, showing up in the world, let alone showing up on TikTok, but showing up in the world as our genuine, authentic selves. I feel that there is a renaissance of that as well, a resurgence of that, but at a very critical time, as we know politically what's happening and everything. Oh, Handmaid's Tale. Anyway,
Of
um,
course.
so it is a very critical moment for content creators on TikTok to get their story out. And I've been so inspired by so many people. I I mean, I can't even list all of the people that I'm thinking about right now, but who've gone through some crazy stuff in life, who have overcome some adversity or who inspire people, and they need your guidance, Nicole. They need your guidance on what to do, what not to do, all those things. And so I'm just so grateful that you have your TikTok channel and that you're doing the content that you are so that more women and men, you guys can come along, right? But that
Absolutely.
they can get their videos out because these things need to be seen, right?
Absolutely. Everyone is welcome on my channel, everyone. And I think that what I started, I had a very specific idea in mind who I was speaking with. And one of the most beautiful things that happened afterwards were so many people came to me and said, I have a dude to prove wrong. But it's almost shifted now in the fact that many people are likening the dude to themselves. They are saying, I'm the dude I need to prove wrong. I thought I had to have those filters on my face. I thought I had to look perfect. I don't have a story to share. And I always tell people, I can teach you anything about TikTok or social media. I can't teach you to be you. I don't have your story. Your story is important and it's valued. And there's always this trend that goes on social media, keep posting content. And for me, I keep trying to tell people, you have no idea who needs to hear your story. That's why you keep posting content. Yes, you can get brand deals. Yes, you can do all those things, but we all have the power to connect with someone over a computer screen or a phone screen with our story, with what we've been through. And someone might need to hear that day, and you will totally shift their life. And you don't have to show up. I mean, I've showed up in my hair done in the messiest ponytail in the world, or I've shown up on days where I'm dressed up completely. None of that matters. And I know that people think it does. And I even know that there's been media that says it does. But at the end of the day, we're talking to a computer. Once you learn how to talk to a computer, you can get the information out to the people you need
Yeah.
that need to hear it.
Well, and like you said, showing up is one of the most important things. And you never know who you are going to touch. You never know who you're going to impact or inspire or motivate. I was in radio for 20 years, and I never, you know, for years I was in a studio with there's a technician on the other side of the glass and a microphone, and I'd just be talking to Los Angeles. I don't know who's listening. And it was only when I would go to an event, a live event in person, and people would come up to me and they would say, "Oh my gosh, I've been listening to you for X amount of years. Christine, you've helped me so much, blah, blah, blah." I I didn't have a clue. So the idea is always to show up and to get your story out there and whatever your gifts are, whatever your passions are. Some people are real techo nerds. Great. Other people are really funny. Share that funny bone with the world
Right.
because you never know who you're going to touch. And you had mentioned something too about, showing up and being your authentic self and sharing your story because you never know who you're going to impact. Now um, uh, you have an incredible journey yourself that happened live, doing a TikTok live. Can you talk about that? Because that moment again, I was really impressed with your strength and your courage through that.
Oh, thank you very much. So I thought I had pink eye. I had been traveling for work. I went on TikTok, and honestly, I know I'm 51, but I usually call my mom when I had something going on, and she wasn't there that day. So I went on TikTok and said, "What is up with this eye?" And my right eye was completely swollen and So I went and people said, "Oh, it's pink eye." So I went and got some medicine for pink eye, and I was giving a speech later in the day. So talk about showing up authentically. I have a huge giant eye, and I don't know what I'm doing. I give the speech. I then all of a sudden decide to go on live and say, "Guys, this isn't. I don't think this is true. This isn't going so well. But let's go through some questions and let's talk about what you want to talk about." And the next thing I know, on my page now we have the snippet of it. I started stuttering, and my face started drooping. And it was people on its TikTok that said, "You need to go to the hospital. You need to go now." And it's was genuinely because I thought I had pink eye. Then I thought maybe I was having an allergic reaction to the shots that they gave me. And now you can hear a bit. Sometimes I still stutter. I wake up in the morning. I tell my husband he's the luckiest man in the world because he gets to wake up with a new woman every day. We don't know if I'm going to be able to walk, if I'm going to be able to talk. But it was honestly live right on TikTok, and the community that has I say I'm the luckiest content creator in the world. I'm an accidental content creator, let's be honest. I didn't think this was going to happen. But from there, it became even more important for me to show up authentically. It became even more important for me to show up. And you can watch my entire journey where there were days I couldn't speak at all. I had to sing in order to get my words out in the beginning. I've had to learn how to walk. I've had to learn how to talk. I had to learn to write. I still can't write cursive, but it was at that moment for me that even more importantly, show up. And so many people have said to me, I would never have done it if I didn't hear from you. And then I hear their stories and they're so amazing and they're so dramatic or they're so funny. And I'm like, thank you for listening to me, but you're amazing. Like you should be telling your story.
I just, I like, and like a lot of people would say oh, I can't post that video because I'm stuttering or because people are not going to understand what I'm saying or they're not going to stick
Mhm.
around. And that I think stops a lot of people, right? Or I'm too old or I'm, like what the
Yep.
dude was fucking saying. It stops people from doing what they're passionate about and what lights them up. And I think that's part of the healing process too, is what makes you feel good inside by doing those things is you're living your purpose, your passion, your light. And I just think that it was just, again, so beautifully brave of you. And I'm so glad that you did keep those up and you talked about it because it's something that was really, really important for people with any kind of curveball we're given in life, right? That said, I want to play because people who they're listening to us right now or they're watching us on YouTube right now, but I would like to play, if you don't mind, if it's okay, I would love to play one of your posts. I think it's quite good because for those of us who are struggling to create content that gets engagement, that gets likes, comments, all that good stuff. These tips, this is kind of important stuff, and I want people to get a feel for your channel as well. So, if you don't mind, is that okay to play a clip?
I would love it.
Okay, all right. Hold on one second. This one here from Nicole are some tricks on TikTok videos. Let's play that now.
I'm going to teach you the one secret that helped me grow my account from 400 people to 108,000 people in 8 months. And that helps me get comments on every single one of my posts. And I sell out all of my offers. I want to save this video because it is such a simple thing to do. Keep being you. I had been doing videos and no one was listening. Why? I was doing all of the things that weren't me until one day all I heard was keep being you. I sat down and I told a story that was from my heart. You can make just as good content sitting in a chair as you can jumping out an airplane. So this week, when you're making content, I encourage you to keep being you. Tell your story in your own voice. Share why you got started on social media. Talk about who you are and what you do. Not worry about engaging from the bottom up sideways, copying a link, using this filter, posting at 4:57 a.m. Just focus on telling your story. We can learn the rest of the things together. We can learn keywords. We can learn hashtags. We can learn the rest of it. Be you. Stop putting on a face. Stop putting on an act. Just be you. You're important. You're special. You have a voice. And that's what makes your content special. And that's what makes people watch you. And that's what makes people follow you. You need help? Jump to the top of my page. I got complimentary downloads. Keep being you. The rest of it we can learn. Stick any questions in the comments.
Oh, I love that. See, that was a gem of a clip because,
Oh, thank you.
and as again, as a media expert, I can diagnose that and analyze it and go, wow, that was really good. Engaging right away brought you in, relatable because everybody could feel that. I love the little bit of humor. Posting, yeah, should I post at 4:57 a.m.? What's the
Exactly.
algorithm want? Well,
Right.
worrying about all those things. And what happens is that we worry so much that we end up not creating content, or by the time we do, it's got an icky energy to it. It's kind of like a desperate, dude trying to get a date with you, you know?
Absolutely. I love that that's the slip that you picked, because I think that for me is I also did a lot of tricks for TikTok right in that video. So
Yes, you did.
the key word was keep being you. So I repeated it multiple times, but I did it in a way where people didn't know that I was saying that the entire time. I also moved around a lot. That takes a big difference on it to TikTok. So you know how to move and talk to people. And like you said, I addressed some pain points and confusion that people had. 4:57 a.m. Do I post from the bottom up? What do I need to do? But more than that, I wanted to get across to people that, especially for me, after I had my stroke, I was not mobile. I couldn't move. I couldn't talk very well. And I wanted to explain to people that you don't have to go through all of these crazy editings and, like I said, jumping out of an airplane. You can make really great content where you are. And I think one of the things I hope that people get out of that is that they're special and they're valued. And I hope that people also understand that just post it. It's it's okay. At the end of the day, it's okay. And I always tell people, if you're nervous and you don't want to post it right away, put the story up. It goes away in 24 hours. Nobody can see it. But if you're not feeling aligned or connected to the content that you're putting out, I loved what you just said. You have an icky feeling. You have an icky feeling. We can feel the icky feeling. Like it's just not working. It's like you're failing on a first date. Like there's
No chemistry. Well, and then
yeah.
if
I think
you did that little thing, for the thing, there's a link in my, no, you did, and I've watched a couple other things that you've done recently, where you don't say, check the link in my bio, you spell them out. Now, why is that? Is it because when we say link in bio, TikTok, the wizard of TikTok goes, no, we will not share the, why do you do that?
Sure. There are so many words on a TikTok that you are not allowed to say. And the algorithm will take those words if they hear you say them, and they will suppress your videos. And so I put together a whole list for people that they can get as a freebie from me, where it's all of the banned words on TikTok and all of the hashtags that you're not allowed to use, along with some hooks and calls to action, because I didn't know that when I first started. Nobody told me. Nobody told me that if I said link in bio, TikTok wouldn't like it. And so I, instead of holding that back, I just put together all the lists for everybody. Simple words like petite is a word that TikTok doesn't like. So
Petite.
that's going to be very petite. It's going to be really hard if you're selling TikTok shop clothing and you want to show
Yeah.
petite stuff. So I thought that it would just be an easier way. And so that is another thing, is when you're making content, being mindful of what the algorithm doesn't like. But how would you know what the algorithm doesn't like if somebody didn't help you? I thought it would just be an easier way to get that out to people so that they would know. So you can't say link in bio. You can't say freebie. You can't say giveaway. Now, listen, I always tell people this. Will some people get away with it? Yes. Can we get away with it? No. It's not fair. But there are people who have been on this app when it used to be something called music, and now it's
Yeah.
TikTok. And so there are people, bigger creators, who can get away with more. We can't. So we don't do that anymore.
And so you have for people, and this is a free gift from you. You have all the things that you do not want to say. Do you have like things on that you do want to say or do want to do? Do want to do?
Well, yes. So what I did was I put together in one whole document. It's your social media launch kit. And so on the first part of it are all the things you don't want to say, all the hashtags you don't want to use, and all the words you don't want to say. And in the second part of it are all of the calls to action, which at the end of your video, those when you hear people say, tell me in the comments or like, share, and follow. And then all the hook that will get people's attention that starts at the beginning of the video, as you saw me come in at my video. So I put it all together. So it kind of sandwiches, you know what to do in the beginning, you know what to not do, and then you know what to do at the end. And they're all fill in the blank. They're all easy. You just make them tie to yourself. And the reason I do that too is that because I think people get overwhelmed when they think about what's a hook? What does that mean? How do I do that? I don't know what to say. What do you mean I have to have a call to action? This way it's just all on a piece of paper and you don't have to worry about all of this.
I love it. And it comes from somebody who has been in the trenches, who's done this. It's, very valuable. So this, and I guess, is like a PDF type thing that people can get.
Yeah.
Okay. And,
PDF.
and that link to get those goodies. And listen, folks, if you're just starting off, or if you've been on TikTok for a while and you've been a creator, get this, because this is going to be very valuable for you to know what you should do and what you shouldn't do. And like I said, I just learned a whole lot just by watching one of your videos about the LINK in BIO. Yeah, I was like, my brain was going, I need to spell that out. Okay. Oh, I know she's speaking in code. So these are some really valuable tips that people can use when they're creating content. So we'll put that link in the show notes. Right. We'll put a link to your website. We'll put a link definitely to your TikTok channel. That's one of the most important things, because then that way people will be notified and they'll get information from you on the regular. So we'll have all those links in the show notes. And like I said, I'm just so happy to have finally met you. You're one of my favorite creators on TikTok. And I'm so glad that you came on the show to talk about your journey and also to inspire some people to get creating, right? Thank you again, Nicole, so much.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you, wonderful listeners who are listening on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and all those great platforms. But also, did you know that this is on YouTube as well? So you can actually see my lovely guest, Nicole. You can go to the YouTube channel and check it out. It's, of course, the TikTok influencers you really should know about. And if you want information about the coaching programs that I do, some of the books that I've got, the audio projects, all those great things, and more information about this podcast, plus some other goodies, you can just go to my website, which is christineblosdale.com. I know it's a weird last name, but it's the one I was given. christineblosdale.com. The link will be in the show notes as well. And as I say at the end of these shows, remember just to keep scrolling, babe. Keep scrolling through TikTok and create your content. It's like Nicole was saying, just be you. That's the best. Thanks again, Nicole, and thank you, wonderful listeners and viewers. We'll talk to you soon.